Hey guys, the Chicken is here. We're back today with another home gym video. In today's video, guys, I wanted to talk about some of the best options for functional trainers or cable machines or cable movements in general. So I'm going to go over this with Canada first kind of in mind, because typically every home gym video out there you see is based in the States, and there's tons of options there. But I wanted to go over just a couple different options that we have here. So first off, we have some companies like XTC Fitness, Treadmill Factory, and what's that other one? There's another cheap one that I'm going to put in the link to the description. I've talked about them before. Actually, it's where I got this from. It's Amstaff. Amstaff is like, if you don't know who Amstaff is, they're like the Titan of Canada. Very cheap, very, minimal build quality, very cheap shipping. I believe they're based out of Toronto, if you guys are close to there. So yeah, from those guys you can get your full functional trainers. I wouldn't recommend getting a functional trainer from Amstaff because they're a little kind of, they're not really ideal. They are the cheapest, but they're also like 4-to-1 pull ratios and other things that we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, so XTC and Treadmill Factory, Rogue Canada, some of the bigger guys, obviously they're gonna have functional trainers, but they're gonna be very expensive. Now, one of my favorite gym equipment companies in Canada is Bells of Steel. I have some stuff here from them. I've got the Belt Squad, the Plyo Box, and some other things. All their stuff is decent quality. It's all really budget friendly, and they just recently came out with a functional trainer. And if you look, simply from a cost perspective, there's nothing else on the market in America or Canada for this, in this price range, with all the features that it has. So I believe it has dual 150-pound stacks, so 300 pounds total, which is great. I mean, when you're doing cable movements, 150 is a little bit on the lighter side, but you're probably not doing lat pull downs, most of us anyways, with more than 150 pounds. I know for me, myself, I can deadlift almost 500. For lat pull down, I'm doing like 110, 120, unless I'm going really heavy and doing lower reps, but you don't really do that for cable movements. The reason you want, heavier stacks on cable machines is mainly for like pressing movements, or if you're going to do like a kind of a deadlift movement or different things like that. It helps to be able to add on the weight. But that being said, there's a lot of options available. I know Gym Pin, I think on Instagram it's just at gym_pin, something like that. You can just Google it and it'll come up. It's basically just a loadable sleeve that you can jam into the hole on the pins on the selectorized weight stack, and then you can just put weights right on top of there, and it's a 2-inch it's like a 2-inch weight sleeve, so your normal collars will work, your normal plates will fit, and you can overload it that way. So the number one thing I'm looking at when I'm looking at functional trainers is not necessarily the weight, but it's the pull ratio. So to understand the pull ratio, it's basically the amount of pulleys, and that kind of determines how much tension you're going to be able to get from it. So say I have 150 pounds on a 2-to-1 pulley. That means essentially I'm getting 100% of that weight being able to be pulled. Now, some other options, the cheaper ones, you might see something that's like, oh, this looks awesome, and it's like 4-to-1 pull ratio. It's like, oh, who cares? What does that mean? Basically, that means that you're going to be lifting half the weight that's actually put there because of the leverages. It's going to have one pulley here, and then like one pulley here or something like that. When you actually get to the point where you're pulling or you're doing whatever, a lot of the weight is lost in those leverages. I'm not a scientist, but something like that. The lower the ratio, the better it is. 1-to-1 basically means you're using the exact weight. 2-to-1 is half of it, and you can just kind of go on like that. But yeah, so 2-to-1 is decent. 2-to-1 is decent. It's not the end of the world. And yeah, I mean, for what it is, we'll go back to the Bells of Steel one here. For what it is, it's about $17.99. I believe it is on sale for pre-orders for the next month or so. So make sure you get those orders in if that's, something you want to do. Now, the problem with functional trainers is they take up a huge footprint. They're very expensive. And they take up a lot of ceiling space as well. So for the Bells of Steel one, I believe it's 81 inches high, which I could actually fit in here. and then it's like 4 feet long, something like that. So I mean, again, it's a big piece, but yeah, for $1,800 in Canadian, $2,000, you know, shipped to your door. You're not going to find that anywhere else for this type of quality of machine, because it's a full-on functional trainer. Now, if you want to look at cheaper options, you can look at single column cable stacks. You can get those for about $1,000, but obviously you're only going to have one pulley versus having two, where you could do flies, you could do, you know, you could just do, there's so many exercises you can do on a cable machine that it's not even worth going over. But obviously, you know, a functional trainer versus a single stack is a single column is going to give you a lot more options, and it's a lot nicer. So yeah, there's some options. Now, if you want to go super budget, you can do the things where like the Spud Inc. pulley things, where you simply just flip them over the bar on your rack, or you flip them over, you know, something, and it's just a pulley that you slide over, and then it's got that pin, and then you put the weights on it. Those do work. They're just, in my experience, I don't really like them. They sway a lot, and I don't know. They're better than nothing for sure, but it's not really ideal. But you can also get them for like $100. So if you're just waiting on something in the meantime, which I recommend still, those are not a bad option. Now, you'll notice that I haven't made any like large purchases recently. One, because I've got, you know, everything I need to work out right now, and two, because I do believe in the video that I made a few weeks ago, if you guys missed it, it's just called Stop Buying Home Gym Equipment in 2021. There's so much innovation going on in the market right now that we're going to see more stuff for cheaper. You know, once the steel costs and the COVID stuff comes back to somewhat normal, there's that. So there's the general pricing, the manufacturing and stuff is going to come down. And also there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of companies competing against each other. It's a, you know, it's a booming industry right now. So, yeah, I'm not in a rush to get anything that can wait. I'm still holding out on those adjustable dumbbells. I know someone's going to come up with those Pepins that go up to 120. So I'm holding on, not the Pepins. I was looking at those the other day. They do look sweet, but the Nuobells, they go up to 120. I'm holding out for those. I'm sure they're going to come at some point, but yeah, Bells of Steel, functional trainer, looks sweet. Looks pretty sweet. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you next one, guys. Chicken out. Back.